Welcome to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show, a real estate investment program. Listen and learn how to use real estate to build wealth and passive income streams for you and your family. We bring you experts every day to discuss and answer your questions on everything from single-family homes all the way up to 600-plus unit apartment complexes. And now, the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Hey, today I'm so excited. We are talking about taking a $233,000 investment and turning it into $1.2 million in just a few years. I am your host, David Ruzicka, and you're listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. I am with husband and wife team Elizabeth Castro Gray and Jeff Gray, and we're going to hear their story today. Guys, so glad you're with me. I want to briefly, both of you, just give us a sense of who you guys are outside of real estate, where you're from, family, work experience, outside of real estate.
Wow. Well, do you have a couple of hours?
I said briefly. I actually used that right at the beginning there, Elizabeth.
Yes. Well, you know me a little bit, David, and you know it's hard for me to be brief, but I will be brief. I was born in San Luis Potosí, Mexico, and immigrated to this country, to this beautiful country that has given my family so much opportunity. When I was a small child, I grew up in Houston, Texas, in Spring Branch. I actually met my husband, Jeff, when we were in third grade. He's been chasing me ever since.
Yeah, so we've known each other since we were 9 years old.
My goodness, that is amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's right there. You can do a whole show on that. That's awesome. I love that.
Well, yes, it might need some therapy, but yes, we could. So we were friends for a long time, and then we kind of lost touch. And then when we, quote, met each other again, I guess we were both hooked. And about 30 years ago, come March, we got married, had a few babies, and have been working very hard, always as entrepreneurs, and most recently in real estate.
That's great. That's great. Do you have anything to add to that, Jeff? You don't have to. Just want to give you the opportunity.
Well, like Elizabeth said, we both grew up here in Houston, and that's where we met. We're entrepreneurial at heart, and so this fits us very well. So we're just very excited about what we have to share today.
That's great. That's great. Well, I want to go get a little bit of history on your real estate investing before you actually discovered Lifestyles. And so I know flipping has been really popular in recent years, and you did some flipping. I know you said it found it to be risky and just as exhausting as the restaurant business that you were in before. And then you did your first rental. My first rental was a disaster. We had to move because of work. We were selling a house. We were having a hard time selling it, and the realtor said, this couple, they'll buy it, they'll approve, they just need to rent for 1 month while they get approved. And she said, if they don't, I won't charge you a commission for the rental. Well, of course, they didn't get approved. I became an accidental landlord. I had no cash flow. They paid late every month. It was miserable. And years later, when I joined Lifestyles, I thought, wow, if I joined Lifestyles, this would have been a blessing. So with that kind of background, tell us about your first rental, because the beginning of it is a little bit similar, that you had a house that you couldn't sell but needed to.
Yes. So this was probably about 2008, 2009. We had 4 small children at the time, but they were growing. And my daughter was sharing a bathroom with 3 brothers, and that was not working. So we knew we needed to at least move into a house that had another bathroom. And so we tried, and this was 2008, 2009. You know, some of us remember what the market was like at that time.
Right.
So we could not sell our house for a decent price. I mean, we had put so much into it. And, of course, I know every homeowner is attached to their home and thinks it's the best in the world. But we really couldn't get what we thought was a fair price. And so we made it a rental. And this was pre-Lifestyles. And I have to say, David, when you learn at Lifestyles that you need to do things the right way, you absolutely do. But real estate is forgiving. You can run it into the ground, but we were able to do decently with it. Then we decided we wanted to start flipping because we didn't want to be in the restaurant business anymore. That was really a tough time. So we had sold a family business, so we needed to do something. I'm too hyper to be retired and to sit at home. So I wanted to do something, and so Jeff has always been interested in real estate, and we decided, real estate equals flipping, right? We'd watch the HGTV shows, and we had a little bit of talent, and we thought we could do it. Well, let me tell you, Flipping is nothing like you see on HGTV, and it is very risky. We, during the course of our flipping career, I remember when oil crashed, one of the times that oil crashed in Houston, we got stuck with a very high-end flip that we were not able to move because nobody was buying high-end houses, so we ended up holding that one for a year. No cash flow. In fact, it was negative cash flow during that time. And about this time, so we were doing the flipping, and we had bought another house to flip and decided to put that on the market, and it wouldn't sell. And so we turned it into a rental, and so that was our first rental house. And about that time, Jeff had been driving back and forth all over town, doing the flipping. And
wait.
Listened to talk
Pause
radio.
Pause right there. I want Jeff to tell this part of the story. Jeff, you discovered Lifestyles. Elizabeth was the skeptic.
Yes.
Tell us about your discovery and what caused you to look into it.
Well, I like to listen to talk radio, and so I would listen to talk radio a lot and programs on the weekend. And I can understand Elizabeth's skepticism because also I'd listen to a lot of the late-night talk radio. And I would dutifully report to Elizabeth what was going on, the latest information on aliens and Bigfoot and ghosts and stuff like that. So I could understand her skepticism when I first came to her and said, hey, I really think we need to go to this place called Lifestyles Unlimited. I think we could really learn from them. I don't think we have all the pieces of information we need, obviously. We're doing something wrong. And so we need to go there and learn. So thankfully I was able to convince her to go to Lifestyles. And Elizabeth, why don't you tell us the story of what you thought when you first went there?
Well, we have about 25 seconds. Tell us what caused you to actually be willing to go.
Jeff is very persistent.
You had an experience at church, you said also.
Yes, we went to a dinner. It was a Christmas dinner, and as we were driving through the neighborhood, I was looking all around at these huge, gorgeous mansions, thinking, wow, what kind of people live here? And I got to sit next to the homeowner at dinner.
Pause right there. We're going to hear the rest of it on the other side of the break.
Okay.
Hey, guys, hang on. We're listening to Jeff and Elizabeth, who took a complex that was a place to buy drugs and turned it into a place that residents were proud to call home. Stay with us till the other side of the break.
Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Now, let's get back to your map to financial freedom.
Talking with Jeff and Elizabeth today, who I said before the break, they took a complex that was a place that known to be a place to buy drugs and turned it into a place that residents were proud to call home. My name's David Ruzicka. I'm your host, and you're listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Investor Radio Show. And so right before the break, we were kind of talking about, Elizabeth, what was the thing that you were a skeptic? You're like, yeah, I mean, Jeff has talked to me about what he hears on radio. Bigfoot, aliens, Lifestyles Unlimited. And so you're a skeptic, and you got that that comes from the same basket as all this other stuff. And then there was you guys had an experience with a guy from Sunday school that changed your mind to at least be willing to listen.
Yes. So we were going to Christmas party. He was hosting it at his house. We were driving through his gorgeous neighborhood, and they're just a lovely, lovely family. And I sat next to him at dinner, and I was chatting with him about what Jeff and I were doing. We were flipping houses. We were doing this. We were doing that. And we had just turned one into a rental, and I was telling him how we were operating that. And he was literally wincing as I was talking. And looking back now, I know it's because I was doing everything wrong. And I told him, and you know what? Jeff has been listening to the radio, and he has told me about a group called Lifestyles Unlimited, and he wants us to go there. And at that second, he clapped his hands together, and he said, stop. You need to go there. If you want to be successful in rental real estate, you have to go there.
And that changed everything for you guys. Jeff, you praise God for that man, I'm sure. His hand clap. So, Jeff, you guys went to the Financial Freedom Seminar, and for folks that are listening the first time, that's kind of the linchpin of the whole membership. It's 16 hours, step-by-step, single-family and multifamily investing. When you went to that seminar, Jeff, what were the big aha moments for you?
Yes, David. Well, when I went there and I heard the message that Trent at the time was giving, something about it really resonated with me. The economics, the numbers, they all made sense. It all fell into place. We knew that we had some understanding and some business, some good business skills, but something about the way the presentation was and the numbers, it all started making sense. And I know Elizabeth felt the same way.
Yeah, Elizabeth, tell us about the kind of same question. Your big aha moments as you went in.
Yeah. So a lot of people I know are attracted to lifestyles because they want to do their own business, right? They want to buy they want their lives back, right? They don't want to be chained to a desk in a cubicle in corporate America. They want to spend time with their families. We'd already been able to do that. We had always worked in family business. We knew that running your own business was the way for you to have your own life, right? For you to have your own time. It was just a matter of finding which, for us, because we already bought into that. It was for us, which business is going to work. I have an economics and a business background, a financial background, and it had to make sense. I was not into all this, invest $1 and you're going to be a millionaire kind of thing, all the guru kind of stuff. No. I needed something rational where the numbers made sense. And the great thing about lifestyles is that they do teach the part about this is freedom. You can hear Braveheart screaming, freedom! This is freedom. This is your freedom from corporate America. But it's also very business. When we walked into that workshop, I saw Trent Yo up on stage. He was wearing shorts and flip-flops, and I was aghast. I thought, oh, my gosh, what have I just walked into? But like Jeff said, when he started going through the math, I love math, he starts doing the math on the stage, right, on the whiteboard on the stage, about how to analyze a single-family home. And just very briefly, it's not, they don't make you drink out of a fire hydrant at the workshop, but this is your introduction. And he just does the math, and it's so simple, and it's so straightforward, and you can't argue with it. It makes sense. And that's when I thought, okay, I will listen to more. And that's when we signed up to go to the 2-day class.
Yeah, that is great. And I just want to go ahead and mention, we actually have, if you've not been to one of the free workshops, what they're talking about right now, it's lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com, lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com. I'm actually teaching the one this Friday on October 15th at noon. I don't wear shorts. I don't wear flip-flops. My toes, nobody wants to see. I actually wear nice clothes. And so if that's your big hang-up, you can watch. You can watch in your pajamas. You can watch at home. It's online. It's all online now for the free workshops. So go ahead and go sign up, lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com. And so then you guys went from there. You decided maybe eventually you're going to buy apartment communities, but you bought some more single-family rental homes after joining Lifestyles. Can you tell us briefly, what was your experience buying after joining Lifestyles, taking the education and the single-family rental homes you did before?
Oh, really much more efficient, much more a business, because at Lifestyles, they teach you the entire process, step by step. You get the forms, you get access to people who can answer your questions, who can give you the advice, everything from how to find a contractor to how to screen a tenant to what to include in your contract, what to look for when you're looking for a rental home, what to look for when you're interviewing tenants, how to file an eviction. I mean, the whole process you learn there, and you learn how to do it right, because if you don't do it right, you can lose a lot of money and you can lose a lot of time, and your life will be miserable. If you have to deal with deadbeat tenants and you have to chase them around, or you have to forever be in the middle of the night unclogging toilets or fixing air conditioners, you're going to be miserable. But you learn how to do it the right way, and that's what we discovered. Again, we thought we were pretty handy and we were pretty smart, and I think we were, but going to Lifestyles just took it to a whole different level in the single-family arena, such that we were able to quickly buy 5 more houses and very effectively manage them. The thing that I liked the best was knowing how to manage the tenants, how to screen them. And we got such great tenants because we followed the process that some of these tenants we wouldn't even see for a year until it was time to renew their rental contract.
Yeah, because a big part of what we learned at Lifestyles Unlimited is before the resident moves in, to fix everything up front, to do it right. And that will really help alleviate all these midnight phone calls about toilets overflowing or an AC not working.
Right.
So that's one of the great things that we learned there.
That's awesome. Hey, Jeff, will you just tell us, because y'all are a husband and wife team, how do y'all divide the tasks? And you got about 30 seconds to tell me that. But how do you guys divide the tasks amongst the two of you as a couple in business?
Sure. I'm more of the boots on the ground type. I go to the properties and talk to the managers and the maintenance team about the physical asset, about turns, what we should be spending for certain items like resurfacing countertops and tubs and light fixtures, making sure we're on target and on track for all those things. Where Elizabeth does a lot of the accounting, and she's very good with numbers. She loves spreadsheets, so she's very good at that. Where
awesome.
Me, not
guys,
so much.
Hang with us through the break. We're going to keep talking to Jeff and Elizabeth, who on their first apartment deal did a cash-out refi, took out all their money, and went and bought another apartment community while they still own that one. Hang with us and hear how they did that.
Warning. Listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show will change your life. We will teach you how to create wealth and passive income so you can be financially free. And now, back to your host.
Hey, folks, we're talking with Jeff and Elizabeth today. After 7 single-family rentals and 6 apartment communities, they have dramatically increased their net worth, and they give the credit to the education and surrounding themselves with successful, like-minded people at Lifestyles Unlimited. And we're going to keep talking to them. You want to hear the story, you will learn a lot if you will hang on through the rest of the show. Now, Elizabeth, you went from a skeptic at the beginning, because I love this part, because Jeff listened to talk radio, which included Bigfoot and UFOs and Lifestyles Unlimited. So anybody would say that's crazy. And then you went to being a true believer, to the point that you actually took a job with Life. You saw a job posting. By the way, Lifestyles, we always hire only members. We hire real estate investors. So when you talk to someone from Lifestyles, you're talking to a real estate investor. And so you took that job, and what you said, you actually said there was no other place in the world that I wanted to work but Lifestyles Unlimited. What is the reasoning behind that statement?
Oh, absolutely. And I have to say, I didn't need the job, right? And I think a lot of the staff at Lifestyles doesn't need the job. But they were probably there, they are probably there for much the same reason that I was so excited when I saw an email come in announcing that they were looking for a member services director. And there wasn't, David, no other place in the world that I wanted to work except Lifestyles Unlimited. And the reason is that you are in the thick of things there. You are literally surrounded all day long by some of the most successful real estate investors in the city, in the state, I dare say now in the country. Every single day you're talking with them. My colleagues, I mean, talk about talking to people that are in the office right next to me. They are literally millionaires in shorts and flip-flops. And picking their brains, talking to them about the projects that they're working on. Not only that, but at that time, I was answering questions. I was mentoring people on their single-family investing and talking to new members, seeing them come in as sometimes hesitant, sometimes a little nervous. Is this really going to work? New members. And then just talking them through, answering their questions, seeing them through their first single-family rental, and just seeing how they grew from that to buying more rentals, some of them going on to multifamily investing, seeing the growth in confidence and the incredible success. Not only did it make me so happy and so excited for them, but I learned from them as well. It was just so incredible. And then another thing I did is I would help to organize, to put on the case studies, to put on the other events. And so I would have to call the people that would be presenting, right, and interview them so I could write short paragraphs about them that we could put in email blasts, and that I could tell people about, these people are going to come on and here's their story, here's their background. It was incredible interviewing some of the multifamily presenters who had bought apartment complexes and had taken them from real dumps into something that was a clean, affordable, safe place to live, and that they made a lot of money doing. So it was just a deep, deep immersion. It wasn't Disney World that was the happiest place on earth. It was Lifestyles Unlimited. And I learned so much during my time there, and I hope that I was able to help others along the way as well.
Yeah, that's a powerful testimony. And folks, as you're listening, that is the kind of environment that Lifestyles Unlimited is. You don't have to work in the office even to get that. You get that through the case. I mean, we're all about surrounding yourself with successful, like-minded people, and exactly what Elizabeth is talking about is what you get to experience through Lifestyles. Now, kind of switch gears. At this point, you have flipped houses. You have leased single-family homes, purchased, rehab, leased single-family homes, and now you are going to look at a 16-unit. And I love this part of your story because when you guys bought this, it was a place that pharmaceutical salespeople love to live. And when I say pharmaceutical salespeople, I had a friend that did that in his 30s, and he looked like a model. I mean, he was super handsome, ripped to the core. His coworkers are all the same. They were either super good-looking men or smoking hot women. And I don't think that's what you mean when you said it was a place that pharmaceutical people like to hang out. What kind of salespeople did you have at this apartment community that you discovered?
Yeah, no, they weren't those hot people that you're talking about, right? And we actually, David, did not discover that until the ink was dry and we had purchased the property.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
It turned out that this was and it was pretty scary, though, when we drove up. I mean, we knew we wanted to get into multifamily. But you know what? We had seen what others at Lifestyles had done. And, of course, you're going to be nervous. Some people would even call it afraid. If you saw this property back then, you would call it afraid. But we knew what could be done. We had done our due diligence. We knew that we had the skills, we had the knowledge to make it what was in our mind's eye. We found out after we bought it that this was the place in that part of the city where you go to buy drugs. Those were the pharmaceuticals
right.
You're talking about.
Yeah, let me say, it was pretty scary looking from the get-go, to the point that when we pulled up with our agent for the first time, we got out of the car, and I noticed that he did not. And as soon as we got out and started walking the property... The agent
did not get out.
He did not get out, and I could hear click. As soon as we started walking away from the car, he actually locked his doors. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's not a good sign. But you know what? Sometimes it's that lump of coal that you can turn into a diamond, right? Mm-hmm. So we perceived that. We could see that underneath the years of this property not being taken care of properly, that there were good bones, and it could be turned into something where...
Jeff, repeat that last sentence again. You kind of broke up there for just a second.
Yes, thank you, David. We saw that this had the potential of being a place where good, hardworking people could live in a clean environment where their appliances function properly. We actually had a resident that when she moved in, she told us, she said, oh, it's so nice being able to cook on my stove without it shocking me. Like, what do you mean?
This is after you had fixed it up, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, of course, we came in and we replaced all the appliances, fixed everything, replaced all the ACs, made everything functioning properly. And she said, yeah, every time I would cook my dinner, my stove would shock me. I said, well, what happened when he told the management? She said, well, yeah, I did many times, but no one ever came to fix my stove. So it's stories like that really resonated with me, that these are our customers, and we need to treat them with respect. And I try my best to learn names, not just apartment numbers. And I feel that's very important for them, and also that goes a long way to renewals as well, which is great.
Yeah, and I really want to emphasize that is a big deal because that's part of the culture that Del Walmsley has fostered with Lifestyles Unlimited. We're not slumlords. We're not here to take all the skin we can from the poorest of the poor. We want to create safe, clean communities where people are proud to live, and we want to change communities, and that's what we do. And I hear that all the time. Every time I interview somebody that's doing multifamily or single family, and I love. You said one resident said, "I'm no longer embarrassed to tell people where I live." And I think that is just a great testimony to the kind of work that you guys are doing. So you fixed up this property. It was 16 units. How long did it take you to do the rehab to get it to 100% occupied?
It took several months, and it's 2 buildings. So about 4 or 5 months in, we were able to start moving people into the first rehabbed building. The occupancy was 40% when we took over. Really, economically, it was probably 20%. We couldn't get a bank loan, David. We had to get a hard money loan, but we ended up paying that off because it was just taking too long. So we were cash out.
That's exciting, folks. You want to stay through? You want to stay through to the other side of the break? We're going to hear the rest of the story, how they changed a dump into a beautiful place to live. Hang with us on through the last part of the show.
Welcome back to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. It's time to turn up the volume and fine-tune your passive income plan so you can create the lifestyle you've always wanted.
Folks, we are talking to Elizabeth and Jeff, husband and wife team, who took a property that was a place known for in town as the place you went to buy drugs and turned it into a place where one of the residents said, "I'm not embarrassed to tell people where I live anymore, and I can cook on my stove without getting shocked," which is just an amazing testimony. I'm your host, David Ruzicka. You're listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. And right before the break, we were talking about really what I would call the kind of the intangible benefits, the benefits of people loving where they live and having a safe place to live, and how you guys first, when you got out of the car, the realtor locked the doors and stayed in the cars while you walked through this place that is known for buying drugs. You fixed it up. You made it beautiful. You went from 40% occupancy, but you said, Elizabeth, really 20% to 100% occupancy. And tell us about the kind of the financial transaction with that property that took you to your second property.
And this was in late 2013, early 2014. You will not find a property, even the worst property on earth, for that price now. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy, because it's always a good time to buy and you will make money. But we bought it for $233,000, and it was in such bad shape, David, we had to basically rebuild it. Even though it was an 83 property, we basically had to rebuild a large portion of it. So we ended up putting another $250,000 into it, and it was all our own money by then. All of our own money. So we were draining our savings, pouring it into this place. We were $500,000 all in. So about 4 or 5 months into it, and our general contractor abandoned us. So Jeff ended up having to GC the project. But about 4 or 5 months in, we started moving in the first residence, and we took what we learned at Lifestyle. How use the Texas Apartment Association lease, how to screen the tenants, how to check the background, what kind of income to require, the whole thing. We used all of that and started moving in great residents, not criminals, but really great residents, some single people, couples, small families. These were smaller apartments. And we moved people in by October of 2015. We were stabilized, over 90%, and people paying their rent and paying on time, everybody under a lease contract. So at that time, we were looking to partner with a friend of ours on another apartment property.
You said something that is so significant. You took a place that was maybe 20% occupied. It's a place you go to do drug deals. It's a place that looks like garbage. It's an eyesore to the city. It's
Yes.
Nobody wants to drive by. Nobody wants to live there. And you turned it into a place where children could play safely, where families could move in, families that are hardworking, maybe don't have enough money to buy a house, but they want a place to live, a place that they can call home, that they can be proud of. You took it from being totally, I want to say ghetto, to being a nice place for a family to live. That in itself is just a huge, huge blessing to that community. So good. I just want to say good job on doing that.
Thank you.
I want to say that we actually had several police officers while I was there doing the work come by and thank us, give us their card, and say, please, if you ever need anything, please give us a call. We in the community are grateful. Thank you. So that was
That's
the type
huge.
of response we had.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome. And so, and
you know,
you
David,
did.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'm so sorry. But what there's incredible satisfaction in doing that. You know, really it was a dark, blighted place. And you're right. There was no children there. And it was just a sad, sad, dark place. But doing what we do, and I know some people may think it's going to sound corny, it's going to sound hokey, but you go in there and you really make people's lives so much better. You bring light to a dark community. That's why we called our company Lamppost, because that's what we want to do. And you know what? That's what lifestyles people do. They take things that are blighted and they turn them into something beautiful. And not only do you get the incredible satisfaction of being able to bring beauty and light to the world, but you make a lot of money doing it, which is a blessing to your family, and which in turn allows you to bless others because now you have the financial resources to be able to do it.
That's powerful. That's powerful. And Jeff, can you tell us the backstory behind Lamppost with C.S. Lewis?
Yeah, so one of the reasons why we named our company Lamppost is I like to read, and two of my favorite authors are C.S. Lewis and Tolkien. And so I had read once that there is a pub that they would meet at in England called the Eagle and Child, or the Child and Eagle, one of the two. But they would meet there, and they would, over a beer, they would talk about what they're working on in their writings. And one time, as C.S. Lewis was describing the beginning of one of his books, and that a lamppost would be prominently featured in the beginning of that book, Tolkien told him, you cannot start a good story with a lamppost. So I thought, I want to prove C.S. Lewis right, and I want us to have a great story with a lamppost.
Wow, and you do have a great story with a lamppost because you are a light. Your apartment community became a light in Rosenberg. So great job on that. You succeeded. Elizabeth, in less than a minute, tell us about what you did with the cash-out refi on that.
Well, let me tell you about that. I'm going to be quick. $1,000 all in, right? We stabilize it. We raise rent. We make it a better place. A year later, we refinance. It's valued at $790,000. So the loan is $500,000. We get all our money out, zero in the deal. Year before last, 2019, we refi it again for $1.2 million. Remember, we started out at $233,000. Now, because of what we've done to that property, raising the rents, improving the property, improving the neighborhood, now this property that was a blight, that was $233,000 pre-foreclosure, we refi it for $1.2 million. And we take those proceeds and buy another one. So we have $2.5 million worth of real estate right there. Right, and I haven't even told you about all the other 5 apartment complexes, but those two, $2.5 million for zero out of pocket.
Zero out of pocket, and they're paying you cash flow. Yeah. So you could almost say you have an infinite rate of return, but you have equity in the deal. But as far as what you put in the deal, you are getting cash flow on something that you have no money in. That's the power of real estate investing. And it's the power of multifamily in that you can force it to appreciate. It's not a CMA. It's not comparative market analysis like a single family home. You do those things. You bless the community. You turn it into a beautiful property. And now you've got both of them with zero out of pocket. I want to hit on something else C.S. Lewis said. He said, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. And Elizabeth, I want you to tell us about your first home in America. Your mom immigrated here from the United States when you were 3 and then brought you. Tell us about that and where you ended up.
It was a tiny apartment, and I get teary-eyed thinking about this because now some of these children are in my apartment complexes, and maybe someday they will be real estate investors too. But I was a very small child, but I do remember this. Small apartment in Spring Branch in Houston, and we had no furniture, so we slept on the shag carpet on the ground. It was clean because my mother was very clean. And I remember when the lights went out at night and we laid down on our blankets, you could hear the mice running in the wall. It was decidedly C-class apartment. But you know what, David? No other country in the world that allows a little immigrant girl who doesn't even speak English, right, to go from living in a C-class apartment to being able to buy apartment complexes and make them into beautiful communities that bless people's lives.
That is huge. Folks, as you are listening, you have no excuse. You live in the greatest country in the world to be able to succeed. Talking about no furniture, age 3, mice in the walls, and went out and 7 single-family homes, 6 apartment communities, and still blowing and going and very successful. That is a great success story. Guys, I appreciate you so much sharing that story. We have about a minute and a half left, and I'd like to hear from both of you. If someone's listening or saying, I don't know if I should join Lifestyles. I mean, Elizabeth, you just gave the most powerful reason of all. You can go from living in a C-class apartment to being a real estate investor owning millions of dollars worth of property. Both of you give me 30 seconds. What you think someone should do if they're listening right now and they're not sure what to do. Jeff, you take it first, if you will.
I would suggest that anyone listening today do what our friend from Sunday school told us years ago that really changed the trajectory of our lives, was go to Lifestyles. Go to Lifestyles and learn how to do this properly and get yourself on the road to financial freedom. You don't want to be retired one day just with some little stash of money sitting around hoping that you don't outlive your stash of money. That's the importance of learning about the power of passive income. And that's something that you can learn there at Lifestyles Unlimited.
That is awesome. Elizabeth, you have 10 seconds. Give us your best closing.
You must go there. You have nothing to lose by going to the free workshop, and you have everything to gain.
Thanks so much, guys. You've been with Elizabeth Castro-Gray and Jeff Gray. I'm your host, David Ruzicka. Remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle. Glad to be with you today.
Thank you for listening to the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Ready for more of the map? Visit lifestylesunlimited.com. Explore our videos and articles. Click on the radio tab to access past show podcasts. View the radio show schedule and listen to our best of radio shows. Want to continue the conversation? Follow Lifestyles Unlimited on Facebook today. Join us next time. And until then, remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle.
The information and opinions you hear on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this station, its affiliates, its management, or advertisers. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.